Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back to this Pxy-VERSE. So we are back with some CG artwork. How is it possible? Well, I need to speak less loud or in a more low volume because the window is open. I cannot, it's late in my place here, so sorry about this. We are trying to create a new habit, so I leveled up my microphone sound volume to compensate for that, and I hope this would be enough. So the thing here is that I decided to develop here a sort of stylization of the, right, we're talking about rendering, but also shading, lighting, rendering, compositing, right, the render style in 3D. And turns out that I have multiple intentions out of this, so I refreshed my mind after certain internal conflict, but I already had the intention of going into this direction. I already had this, and now it turns out that I can do this maybe even better than before. Who knows? The thing is that I want that the rendering style be stylized, and something that I was been realizing on EEVEE usually is that all the materials that I've made, these assets, they are too complex. Usually they are too complex for the kind of shading that I want, like cell shading or something more like yeah, stylized in a peculiar way. It was already stylized, but it was going in too much detail on the procedural textures usually, that made everything look like like an intention toward realism or something close to that, at least. And this is very intriguing because once we start using some more complex textures in certain ways, at least that was what I experienced, the maybe lack of compositing, I don't know, but like you see this rendering, it is a real-time viewport shading here, right? This is material preview, right? It's very, we have some colored lights, and we have I'm still rebuilding the materials. You see that this looks like very graphical in the sense that yeah, we have some very poor color palette. Well, not poor, simplified. There's this black stuff, black and white, it's like towards self shading. We have some great scale of everything, and the light has an impact because it is EEVEE, right? It's I don't want to use cycles, but I wouldn't know how it would look in cycles because I haven't tried this yet. I don't think that could give any super good cycles. Turns out to be too dark. I sincerely prefer, at least in my computer, EEVEE, so I dump cycle, though it is possible that I might go to cycles in the future for certain renders, but I think EEVEE is, because of its real-time impact, we can immediately assess results, even if the results are not great. Or not as polished as usually cycles is. And this is a very good case scenario to use EEVEE because we have the cell shading event. right? And I can have what I'm having here actually is not just the simplified materials, but I'm having the compositing to be the compositor to do something about this. This is why we're creating this effect, and this effect is something like this. Basically, yeah, so I'm gonna just recover what I had here. I found something. Of course, this relates to the sunlight and many other light objects. So this is basically what we got is a connection between a color ramp of the same image there of this, right, which is not terrible. This is actually, I mean, there are a lot of assets missing, lots of material. This is actually interesting, right? So what I'm doing here is that I'm bringing plain materials. Let's close this because this also looks cool, but I'm not sure this is actually very usable because you see the shading. Yeah, the shading is sometimes it doesn't look good. It's like maybe in the future, and there's a problem. Yeah, we could do the technique of dual compositing, but I don't know. This is if this Blender crashes all the time or it's too slow, Blender 5.2.0 LTS, then I'll dump that. Otherwise, we could try the approach of dual compositing. That means in my case EEVEE with Workbench. So I'm going to skip this for now, because if it works it will just add to the EEVEE some good stuff, so it will be more an enrichment. But whichever qualities, features that I can achieve from EEVEE should improve that result, right? Now for the polymath, so here is what we got here. Yeah, I have probably to revise these lights. I need a glass thing, and now in this version I think we have something. I'm making very crude, very simple shading to start out all over again, because the materials that I had already, they create this complexity that tends to derail my character design. So the more I get these cool procedural textures, usually, the more my character design in stylized, economical, even on their cloth assets, maybe their skin, don't harmonize with the scenery, or the texture seems too complex, while the assets in the scenery looks too complex in their textures in relation to the lighting as well. That and the assets, sci-fi assets, are so poor and limited that also the characters don't have necessarily good textures yet. Then we don't get a good composition. It doesn't harmonize well enough, and because I want a stylized result, so the best thing to be doing now is to revamp all this stuff. So it doesn't mean I'm gonna remove this from my library, but for the project, the stylistic direction, the art direction that I'm going for I will have to eliminate this text. Maybe I could reuse certain of them, but for now we're gonna skip. Even the glass material, I would like to have it on EEVEE work in a way. So already we can see the space here, but because of this transparency here, but otherwise here we'll have to work on this. Here is a glass. I think we can use this. I don't know how I'm gonna use this, to be fair, but this already shows that this is a glass, of course. I don't really know how this works. It's a new feature, thin wall. A thin structure with the same material on both sides, great. Useful for modeling with thin objects such as window, papers and leaves. Yes. Okay, so I use this, whatever. I don't know what it does exactly. Roughness. So I'd like to grab this viewport display panel and bring it close here so that we can... Okay, so I think this can work. So, okay, we have a glass material, very stylized. We don't see any reflections now, but that's fine. We're gonna go search for... Because, yeah, I did that. I removed all of the poor materials that had gone, and I got... Okay, but I'm not naming the materials, right? So I need a revamp for this. So I think I'm also gonna revamp the name of the materials, because they are not blend files, and usually they are assets, but they don't interfere with anything else for searching. So that means that maybe I should just call them something like simple stuff, like... Yeah, I'm gonna call them like this. And if I assetize this, you know, that's not a bad idea. Let's do this from this file. It's not the best idea, but we're gonna make a new catalog here. I'm gonna make self-shading. So we're gonna put everything that we create there, mark as asset. Okay. And then we want that asset to be here. Okay, I hope I don't need to do this every time, but whatever. Yeah, it keeps that feature. That's great. So I have already this one that I've made a simple metal. Can I place it somewhere of relevance? No. Again, I will have to... Yeah, so this is a bit annoying, right? But this one will call carpet 01. I'm gonna mark as asset. Okay, after I'll add all of them all at once. Interesting pattern, but this is Not what I wanted here. Why this is... We have... Oh, because this is a... Okay, so this is something else. I forgot to... Probably I moved the floor. That's why it is like this. I'm not sure gonna maintain this stuff. We could do this through texture, right? But I don't know. I just often get too lazy with texture painting to create masks. But in this case, because it's not very cool, right? Blender is still weak in that domain. It's well recognized, I think. That it needs some improvements. So we could, what you could do is grab this material and place it here. Although this will give the wrong idea, right? So whatever is carpet here, we could try something else, like we could make it like a metal too, why not? This will be less cozy and more sci-fi-ish, right? Which could work, right? So we don't need to be updating manually, it will auto-update every time. This is a good thing of these features. So this time I'm looking maybe for a more pale thing. Maybe here we could make it, I don't know if this reflection roughness here would be any good, but you can copy paste this, and now before I lose my selection, we apply. Yes, these panels here are gonna do something else. You see, it's just base color, right? Of course, with shading. As for this part, we're gonna give it another. Maybe try this. Not sure it would work. Now let's leave the carpet for the ground. This has nothing, is another object. Okay, it's safe. Looking Okay, right, the lighting is not that good, but I'm gonna reset the UVs just in case, because right now nothing really matters. And so this starts to give some possibility, right, of design that like interesting, like it's almost I won't call it a painting, but it's almost like a it works, right? Yeah, barely, because we need to fix these lights, right? So they are too bright. They were serving another purpose. So I have to address one by one. So this scenery, folks, I'm making for a game. Like it will be in my imagination, right? And in my project. This is something I've never done before. Like, yes, I played with the UPBGE Uchronia project Blender game engine. It's a derived game engine from BGE, Blender game engine. There are nowadays at least 3 software like UPBGE, including UPBGE, and these 3 projects, they are derived Blender game engine resource from core Blender before Blender dropped its game engine, internal game engine, which sucks because it's super cool. Like if I tried a lot of stuff in, well, not a lot, I've experienced a lot of tutorials, several tutorials, not a lot of tutorials out there, and I fell in love with UPBGE because like it would be like there is a node system that is revamped. It's an editor. I think it's a logic, not logic bricks. This is old school, based on the original BGA. But UPBGE brings up a different one, which is of course visual programming, just like geometry nodes, but for game logic. So the game logic node, and this is super cool because I don't know too much about this game logic, but it's refreshing, and it's a bit difficult to find how certain things work. But it's personally, it's like 5D rigging, because it relates to the transform. So because I have this rigging experience, it helps me. I have some very crude digital game design experience with when I was a kid. I played with some game logic, but so it's a kids software called Games Factory. It was a CD-ROM. So my father bought this for me, but it was very cool, very powerful for that time. You could make many MIDI games, but it was 2D mainly. It was not a 3D software. And UPBGE is like almost about 3 decades later, maybe. So UPBGE is 3D, right? It's Blender, and it's actually there's a PGF 0.5, and so that means it's aligned with, maybe not sure if Blender 5.2 but LTS, but I'm sure that at least it went up to Blender 0.5, And they are always building week by week, revamping. It's incredible, right? What they are doing. And I was able to make a lot of experiments there even before that for Blender 5, because then you can bring assets. Most assets, they work. Certain things fail with the physics, like some rigging aspect, but there are workarounds. Compositing sometimes fails miserably there, because games is supposed to be real time, right? So compositing can sluggerish rendering, so that's why there are a lot of things that don't really work in the very well regarding game engine, but then you find what works for your projects, right? And it's kind of so okay. Yeah, enough explain about UPBGE, but here what I want to do, this is Blender, right? But the thing is that if I build this correctly, this can work for UPBGE as well. I don't know why I don't like this lighting there, but I don't really know how to get rid of it. I'm gonna have to find out. It's just a simple area light. Why it should have this kind of issue, right? Okay, we need to blend this. Yeah, we need to. You see, it's not helping. This why? Oh, it's the opposite. Yeah, but then it starts to attack the wall. Maybe I need to scale it down. Yeah, because the scale is something else. Yeah, the scale effects. Maybe I should use square because okay, so I have a problem with glossy because of the metal. Oh, we don't have, what is this thing? Ah, this is the metal. Okay, we're gonna no, actually we want this to be the carpet. Doesn't help too much, right? So I have oh, maybe it's the power. Oh, a lot of exposure, of course. This is very bad, right? Now it's not strong enough. Oh, so okay, my of course, I think it was the exposure. Now this kind of works, but I don't like the strong line there. yeah, it gets this sharp line. I think it's horrible. This doesn't seem to help too much. Like, still... Maybe it did some adjustment, but not as much. Let's try the square. I don't... Yeah, it doesn't really have any advantage. In this case, disc is rounded. No, I think it's not the case. Ellipse. I don't really... Oh yeah, there's more power here. So this is not a terrible idea, actually. Can sort of... Oh, look, I can do both. Okay, so you see, lighting in Blender is not that simple, right? I'm not, I don't consider, I'm very far from anything like an expert. I just know certain tricks, but very few. I'm not like super interested in lighting. I'm more a character maker, and I like architecture a lot too. But of course, architecture is lighting too. But yeah, I don't know. Lighting is another dimension. It's very interesting, like used in composition. So it's very weird that I have this negation for. I think it's just I don't pay too much attention to light because lighting. I think it's sort of a painting stuff. Although I love compositions, composition analysis, making compositions also, even for shots. But I have a tendency to, I don't know, I skip. It's not the first thing that I look at, even though of course we can orient. I'm more interested in shapes. Like raw shapes. Maybe it's because I'm an artist which focused a lot on drawing black and white, grayscale. Well, grayscale has a lot of shading too, even black and white. So it's not an excuse. It's just my artistic vision. Usually, I try to focus on the structures, and for me, it's difficult sometimes to see the light as the thing that will show the scene, because of course the light allows us to see, so it's fundamental. But I think differently. I think like even there's no light, okay, we can't see anything, but the structure is still there. So I think about this, so you can still see it, but in our mind's eye, in our imagination, or feel it at least, the structure, everything. So that is the thing, right? But so then I often tend to treat it, I don't think this is very creative, right? There's certainly a better approach. Sculpt shapes out of lighting and darkness. I think this is very cool, but I don't have too much insight into that. But I sort of understand, but it's different. Rational understanding is not the same thing that will bring the artist to create stuff. So, but I love to see concepts about cinematographic lighting. I've been learning a lot, like the tree lighting, the very crude stuff, right? Even, but it's always interesting to see even the most basic trick and see how it fits in one scene. So, and also for me particularly, I try to pay more attention to architectural lighting, like for architectural projects. more than 3D artists who make lighting stuff. No, although that also is good for inspiration. No, I want to see the from pictures, right? Real architectural lighting. Maybe landscapes, nature, why not? Okay, so here I'm not sure why this would be relevant. Ah, this one is responsible for that. Okay, I see what this is about. It's like the illumination of the spot for the users, right? But of the pilots, but actually I think I'm gonna remake this, right? And of course we're gonna erase this thing. We need why you have this stupid reflection on the other side? Oh, so of course you need to normalize. I think there's some sort of reflection. Oh, there you go. We start to see some power there, but otherwise it's very dim. Reset the scale. Okay, the scale doesn't do anything. So we want something like this. So here, I don't know what to do with this, maybe. Yeah, it's not so much of the something about the pilot, but the pilot and the controllers, right? So something. Yeah. Yeah, this is maybe something like that. Then what I can do here is probably want to delete that. We can also change the colors of this, but we can. Yeah, before symmetrize, let's just fix this. So this is the. So here maybe you can change this. Let me get a. Okay, I don't know. I want this color for some reason. Yeah, the right green, the left red. Oh, yeah. No, more to the cyan. I don't know. Okay, we'll accept this for now. And here, I don't know if I want this. Let's just do this for now. Blend. Yeah, I want this pretty much very blended. And maybe the rotation. Let's have. Okay, here it is. Okay, let's change this then. I'm not sure why it's not illuminating this. The top. It's the same material, right? It's not in inverse faces. Hard to understand this for me, but okay, it can get lit. It just doesn't want to. Okay, maybe I can. Yeah, let's expand like this. And let's see, does this make any change? No. Okay, then for the other side, then we're gonna symmetrize. No, Shift D, mirror X. There we go. And for this one, gonna just pink color, get something like this. It's very subtle, but we'll make actually. Let's get to the green. Maybe that is better. Not sure if I like this too. That's high. I think it's too dim. They deserved more lighting, right? So pick double of these ones. We can probably strip characters, and this is like a yeah, we need the Alt key, right? Hold Alt. Okay, we'll leave at least like that. I'm not gonna touch the exposure because it in this approach apparently tends to blow up everything. Okay, maybe the less blending. An angle. Oh, actually, you can see the top, right? Okay, we're gonna stop here. That sounds nice. Ah, there's a... Okay, maybe we can do that too. Okay, we'll stop here. Should we... interesting, right? Yeah, it warms up the room a little, which is not bad, but it can't be that powerful. It should be a subtle thing. Yeah, it was good, sort of. These things are missing materials. Okay, so this is one thing, but here we're gonna give maybe metal. Yeah, it is not very good, right? We need another. These sharp angles. No, never mind. Okay, so of course we need to do something about the... I don't know, is it the sharp thing? Yes, this kinda is not... Yeah, sort of works. I'll have to build more of this. Yeah, this isn't finished. Alright, so that already helps. These lightings are horrible. How does it work with the compositing right now? The compositing is... Okay, nothing is happening with the compositor. I don't know why. Why this is so dark in this... Oh, here, of course. No? Okay, something is very weird here. I think, yeah, it's like a bug. How can I see the stuff here? All the lights are there. Oh, of course, might be, but this should... Yeah, no, not here. Okay, so maybe I just need to... Too little string on this sun, maybe. Let's build this one. I don't know how this effect will work here. Maybe we got something of interest, but my real time is not... It doesn't make any sense. Ah, we have the scene world, of course. This thing is getting influence, right? Well, it's barely changing anything. And no, it is changing something, but it's super weird. Yeah, look at the difference. Maybe my camera is in the wrong position. No. Okay, no, this is not responding to rendering. That's fine. Okay. Okay, maybe I messed up this thing. I have to recreate it. Okay, of course, this is the composite. Oh yeah, of course, this is the compositor. It renders with the compositor naturally. Okay, sorry, just rusty about it, a bit rusty about this. So this is what you're getting. Super cool, right? But we can build on top of this, of course. Currently I'm building. What are you doing? Ambient occlusion. Oh, this is the color. Okay, so this is what I want first, and this is actually something that I want to put for later. So for clarity, for the sake of clarity, we need to do like this. This is not a remix. We're gonna call it start, whatever. We're gonna, oh yeah, actually the graph is grayscale. Something like this, right? Then we can change this thing. Maybe we got. Yeah, I like this. Black. Right, then from here. Okay, we already time to work this ambient occlusion. So we can play with. I don't really want too much. I want something that doesn't look too heavy, but that can help in the very sort of subtle, sometimes sharp, sometimes subtle grayscale. Yeah, or like the solid viewport shading, right, of the of the solid viewport shading, right? So this just this illusion here. Then we need to combine this. You see, you can see this shading here. And the problem is this, of course, is brutal. We need to. This is very dependent on the lighting, right, of the shot also, so it's not very easy to get this first one right, but we might have to keyframe this even. So, but it will be the base one, right? So it doesn't mean that, say I like this a little, so we can start with something like this maybe, and then we're gonna build another one. Where we can try, like, maybe don't use the black anymore. I probably should use, unless we use some add. So maybe don't use the whites anymore, nor the blacks. So we're gonna kind of simplify our. No, but this will be the maximization, right? This is actually not probably not gonna work, I think. So I need to keep the blacks and the whites. And create new ones. So people, lots of tutorials teach how to do this as shaders. Like I don't want to reproduce this. I think this is not good when you want to have a lot of shaders on cell shading. I don't like this idea of, I don't find it economical. I think it's very cumbersome. So maybe this is my bias. I came to 3D world expecting automations. So whenever I see something that is not very, let's say, smart, it gets me... and maybe this efficiency thing is something that affected my 2D art as well. Yeah, so maybe it's not just on 3D. It's my own precious. It's my own bias too. Okay, this gray stone here, let's just bring it more in the middle, and I think that is it. So I like to try to maintain some proportion. Looks like we could have another here. Yeah, so maybe this doesn't fit everything, but this is fine, because now the thing is that this one doesn't need to be constant. Cardinal seems ease or linear. I think linear. B-spline is kinda cool, and yeah. B-spline goes more to the blurs everything and make it brighter, but I think it destroy my original, so I think cardinal or linear. Cardinal. So the thing is that I would like to adjust this without tackling. Oh, actually, this is pretty stupid, because if we have yeah, this was a mistake. I'm gonna duplicate this, send it here, because this was unused constant, right? Now you can see what would be better. Linear. Yeah, cardinal is darker, linear is brighter. Hard to decide, right? Spline, no. So we want the, I think, the cardinal here. So I would like something that will be capable to probably it will be a math node. Yeah, something like, I'm not sure, but I don't use too much this math. I'd like to know more, but it's too abstract. So add, yeah, it will add everything, maybe multiply by 1, so this is the default, yeah. Okay, so this is exactly, well, maybe it's not exactly what I want, but this is useful. Yeah. So this could help, but let's try some other crazy stuff here. Exponential. Nice, you can get some stuff here. Okay, logarithm. Square root, inverse square root, absolute, no, exponent, compare will be something else. Compare, I think I use this in game logic of BGA. It's gonna, yeah, so just testing stuff here. Fraction, truncate. I think this works more. Last time I used this in a funny way was just for emissions shaders with why don't I have any value to manipulate? This is boring. Maybe need to plug other things there to have. Okay, so this is not that. Okay, I think this is clump related. This is actually good for what I, yeah. Smooth minimum, smooth maximum. I think smooth minimum. Whatever that was, it sounds better. Now it just takes off the. Okay, no, we're not gonna any for this. We're gonna keep with the multiply maybe. So this. So here we want to have a interesting, right? So we could have one that bring more this or okay, so I'm gonna keep something like this. Maybe a little less. Okay, and then we're gonna have to combine this stuff, right? In a magistral way, and that is not simple. Okay, this is one of the multiply, right? Maybe we're not using multiply anymore. This is not too bad, right? But now we need to try with something else, right? Okay, so this is apparently it's more about color, so we don't really care. Multiply, color burn, maybe soft light, no, too brutal, linear light. Okay, so this kind of helps mixing in a almost a constant way. That one is interesting because what if there's also this, which I interesting, right? I never get this thing right, so this is this one will probably always break. It's not for this case. Okay, and then we have overlay, we have multiply done in this way. Start with that. Yeah, this works. Actually, this is pretty similar here. Or if not, there's also the mix. The mix. No, but it kills the extremes, right? So no, we don't want the mix, although it's interesting what it gets, but we want something more like okay, I think this is too boring. This is better. And I just want to test. Okay, so these are two extremes and both of them are interesting, but we want the, yeah, so we're gonna do the multiply and keep something like this, right? Okay, that's nice. Then that's my soundtrack has gone. Let's see. Now we're gonna mix. We could also use another technique for this, which is the separate red, green, blue, but so we not sure that we're gonna do because sometimes a good ready made stuff, it's sometimes it's good for this kind of grayscale artwork or graphics, but I feel like I won't need this because I don't really understand too much of it, so I think I'm gonna try to do it with this method, which I think it's clearer. Even though I might be missing something pretty cool, this I think I can try later on. So right now we have, okay, so this is this ambient occlusion, and I need to add it to the, but it seems to be destroying the sky. The sky I bring from another thing. I can bring it from the environment, right? So I don't need to make it be destroyed by this kind of stuff. The problem is that it's usually made by add node. It's the overlay. Oh, it's alpha. Okay, let's go here then. Alpha over. Okay. So here this one is clearer because we got the have the background, have the foreground. Yeah, but let's mute this for now. I'm having this for some reason. I think because it's adding stuff. Yeah, that's why it's destroying. I need to negate the environment. This is always a mess. I need to bring this to why don't I have an alpha? Okay, so this is I don't remember right now how to do it, but whatever, we can keep this guy for now. I'm gonna solve that, but there's more immediate stuff to do. No, this is what you need to do. You need to make a mask from this one already. Yeah. Right, so it's like it's not really working. Yeah, because everything is shares. Yeah, this is not good. Whatever, doesn't matter. Let's go back to where we were. So now we're gonna we were here, then there's this ambient occlusion that where we stopped. So this could be negligible, but usually it adds something of interest. We need to pay attention to corners. It's not very simple. It doesn't seem to be. Maybe this one we need to bring it as an extra. Ah, there you see. Start to see some. Yeah, certainly not mix. Also, we seem to have lost something about this. Overlay. Don't seem to be working. It's kind of cool, but it's not what we need right now. We could use this result as some sort of mask or other thing. Or just some way to add some tonality, decomposing color maybe. I've seen some things about it, but I never use. Okay, color burn for this, because there's some granularity. This is kind of intriguing. Can we get this from multiply or darken? Apparently it's not that simple. Soft light, nope. Linear lights, nope. Yeah, little, but apparently color burn. And does it work in both ways? Well, this one is more close to the original. Yeah, it's a big change, so this is not really good, although I like what you get. There are probably other ways to achieve this, so maybe we can just click from here. No, it looks like the color burn is just too destructive. Yeah, as intriguing as it is, it's too dangerous to use this like this. So maybe I don't know how to use this yet for this current setup. So how to get a good impact out of this thing is not always trivial. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, something more balanced, like, yeah, it's very subtle, but I like that it adds some depth to this some stuff, although it's not really good. We need more developments here. And then finally we get some color, right? And so here we could try some multiply. Now this will, it will make the colors die off. It's not very interesting. Already have poor limited colors, so we need something like a multiply that will tend to darken stuff, which is horrible. This will kill color, this will kill color. Then should the color be the basis or not? I think not. Maybe the color comes, now the color is the basis. So add is too bright. Let's do the opposite. Overlay. Overlay is like, surprised that I'm having this color artifacts. Sometimes exploding colors, not sure. This is not bad, it's just too dark, right? Soft light tends usually to get this chromatic aberration. Why not? Oh, this is okay. This is a surprising. What, never expected this. It also solves our background. Okay, this is kind of cool. This is not very cool. Subtract. Not sure. And divide. Yeah. Okay, so we are in between difference. I want to compare and exclude. No. Difference and subtract. No. Oh, we can use subtract maybe to get, I don't know. But this is kind of cool, but I haven't finished yet. Q. saturation. Color. Like a colorization, right? Nothing. Yeah, it's just the same. And then value. Value can be useful. But it looks like it's not contributing to the color too much. Yeah, it's just a... Yeah. So I'm gonna go for either this or this. Yeah, so it is difference, and we might have something. Almost maximize, it's fine. And then from that we have this thing of the background that we're not using yet, and there is then this one that will connect to here, and this will be like the final filter, like to make it more graphical. Ah, there is a... yeah, I like the diamond sharpen. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of working. Now let's try my other technique, which is the stars. Yeah. Yes, so in order to make the dual compositing, we don't even see what would look like in the rest with these new materials. Try to implement them, those things. Everything is getting the glass, I guess. Oh, no, yeah, that's it. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is that we're gonna we need some tarp right here. We're gonna get the first metal. And why not? We also get the second metal to find out some variations. Well, I don't have any variations right now. The material is there. Here I don't really know. I'm gonna just do this. Nice. Yes, unexpected. I already tried that in the beginning. That can work, yes. Oh yes, this certainly. So this works, I know. Yeah, it needs to be a 1 by 1. Well, can do one smarter here. We need some emission, right? Okay, I think I can play with the emissions at least. From my collection. That doesn't seem to be working. Of course, I need it here. Yeah, doesn't sound great, but for now this should do the job. Or wasn't it less? No. we have a just disable. There we go. Oh, can have glass already. Interesting. Good. Let's try this first. Yeah, it's kind of boring. I like the idea of being carpet, but it's not fitting. We need also metal. I think will be terrible for this. I need something more like a stone or plastic. Yeah, we need a different thing here. I'm gonna try to build something here, but yeah, we need some procedural effect here in order to make this better. But yeah, let's already get some better degree of attention, but still not. Oh yeah, cyan. Let's change the hue here. There's more. Yeah, exactly here. That will do for now. Doesn't need to be the same, but usually that would help. Okay, anything else? Yes, these things are very bad. Yeah, I need to change this topology. I think I've lost the carpet here. Not sure this is a good idea, but I'm gonna. Okay, here are some panels we can try. Yeah, this topology is very bad. Have to change it, but for now this is good that we can just try some stuff here. Not overdo. These are still cool to use, right? I overdid. Picked the wrong yuck. Horrible topology. Okay, variation is not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Could be better, of course, but yeah, less is more. These lights are horrible. So these are fitting, surprisingly fitting together, but I would need still to stack some cool character here to see the final. So this assessment of the stylized shaders, which is a shame because I had to eliminate sort of, get rid of everything that I got done for a couple years maybe. Like mostly, not sure if I'm gonna do something there, but mostly I had to dump all my procedural materials package. In order to proceed with this, and it's very frustrating because I really thought that for a long while, well, medium term you can say, I really thought that I had this face is ridiculous. Oh yeah, we got going on here. Okay, it's just the solidify, right? Yeah, this is more likely. And if I can get anything of more interest here. Nah. Yeah, I just don't have the topology right now. And I don't really want to. There's another approach. But why should I? Yeah, just to maintain. Let's see. Yeah, I remember why now. Maybe. There's this old trick. Let's use it for select random. No. It needs to be the same object, right? Or is something about the materials, maybe? You see, the tutorial tricks never work. Joking, but yeah. So I don't want to separate the objects, so I'll just select manually. Too many, right? Too chaotic. They are not. Maybe the fact that they are animated is what is a bit distractive. Too much, but I have bright ones. So let's get the first one here. Maybe not the ideal, but something is too bright. Yeah. Why not mix those colors up? Okay, that's temporary. You can do better, but already gives a lot of possibilities. Then usually, yeah, some tubular stuff, of course, we could have here. But for now, the last thing that I would like to try to solve here, because this would change everything here. Okay, there's this entrance on the side, which could be relevant if I could get this thing fixed. It's now time for the dummies again. I need to see where they can be put. Yeah. And what the hell is this? No, this is a glass thing. Okay, that we sort of discarded for now, and maybe we should keep it outside of the way. Otherwise, we don't have the room. We can add this, but we're gonna find a better spot for them. So here the shape of the vessel will change what happens in that part. have to figure out something. Yeah, this structure can be, of course, bigger. The question is, where do we put the door, right? We are seeing the wall where it shouldn't be. Yeah, this is the hole. It's not the best way to get this thing done. Okay, we could expand this structure here. Like this? No, I don't like this. There needs some Okay, big mistake. We got some problem here. And it's just this thing. I don't know why I did that. Press some stupid shortcut to hide. Yeah, I think I hate those shortcuts. I take them off, but I think in this Blender version I got them. They got restored. So maybe we want this door structure back. We are gonna duplicate this entire thing. Yeah, whatever, we're gonna maintain like this. So that corridor would be part of this thing. Not sure if I want the windows here though. Okay, it's time for us to build these walls, and I think I already have a material for this, which is the rock. So I would like to, yeah, I'm going to no, yeah, we can start work from here, no problem. Oh, wrong place. Well, this is the wall, right? Yeah, good thing. So we're gonna go on edit mode. We're gonna has a mirror modifier, right? Yes. But the mirror modifier is not what we need actually. We need another one. There we go. And apparently I don't really like these glasses in this case. Maybe this one is still fine, but here I think it's not that good. Okay, now we need to push this hole so I can make space for rest of the structure. Okay, so we don't need What the hell? Oh, it's proportional editing. Also, maybe we can pull. Yeah, this is more interesting. Okay, that might mean that we want this to be yeah, let's skip this for now. And let's start this structure. Why it takes so long to start this? It's because we need go. I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle all this, but if I'm really going for this more organic, natural thing, I think yes, but the problem is that I'm not sure if it is I will be able to make it fit in this bridge. There should be many ways to do it, but maybe the structure here is not well planned for this. I have to make some yes, I remember what I wanted to do here. Yeah, there are many things I wanted to do here, so actually this is the problem. I don't have good plan right now. I need to check some references. And I expanded too much already. This is not supposed to be that large. Although it could help, yeah, Yeah, it is helping, but I need to do more on this. These things are... Oh, because of the mirror modifier, right? Okay, so we need to have to separate these things. Yeah, so the last thing is to address these lights in the in here. They haven't been revamped. Okay, let's try this, except that we don't want that. We can solve that with the this feature. not strong enough. Yeah. This is a problem. And then we have to fix this one. Why those things? Yeah, this is just too annoying to make it as separate pieces. Not super practical. I should just snap them, but they are. Interesting. The solidify is not helping. Oh yeah, they need to solidify upwards, of course. Yeah, this not work very well, just for these ones. Sometimes. Yeah, this is very bad. Should be simpler to do this. Yeah, after I'll see what I do with this. Started without being cumbersome thing, and then it started to cause trouble. We have these are linked assets, all right, and they are very there's no reason now for them to be here. Why should I lighten this entrance with a spotlight? Yeah, they are not useful anymore. So the thing here is to create some sort of interest. So but this is kind of hard, so I'm just gonna focus here and that's it. And as for this, we can always I probably should change the topology. It'll be much simpler. I don't want to shrink wrap this. Although, maybe that's a good idea. Nope. I don't know what's happened there. I'll just delete these things. Yeah, still have some weird artifacts for, but it's not a problem. I don't care about this yet. The lights, right? Okay, so I want to fix this lighting. Yeah, it's almost fixed, so I just need to for some reason I'm not able to see below. This is annoying me. Let's bring this. Where is that thing? Yeah, it is. There's a gizmo here. I don't remember. How it got this way, but whatever, this works. Then we have some more here in a terrible position. Yeah, these ones will have to revise. Yeah, right now they are not good. And then I think I remember I have these ones, which also seems not good. Yeah, so a lot of light destruction, but okay, so I think like here we start to have a cool graphical, like it's nearly those old school games, like very old, like PC, Atari, I don't know, this is, there are some, at least, yeah, it's because here it looks pixelated, but actually it's not that much, yeah. Okay, let's try to make the grease pencil, no, not grease pencil, yeah, grease pencil is another thing that might be cool, but for the game, only for specific renders, because it's real time, it's very bad. So we need to, okay, we're gonna copy settings, link copy, and here is where we're gonna do the workbench. We want to find something of interest here. Yeah, I think I'll keep with the studio, but we don't have anything that is... Yeah, so this is the problem. This is a single global light that is trespass everything. So either we have some... Okay, this one is kind of nice. We can edit those things, but it requires to get into a menu, which is not super cool in my opinion. It's not very... easy to access. Outliner is nice, but we can't really do much with this outline, which is a shame. Okay, we can try something like this for now. Maybe we don't want the specular lighting. Now let's bring this. This is probably the most interesting thing. Sort of an ambient occlusion. And with some sharp stuff. Okay, and here transparent. And okay, now the rest is the rest. So now that you got this, it's very simple. We just need to because I don't have any procedural materials. Oh no, this is not like this. We can dump this thing. No, not that. I mean, this is the real one, and from here, because you're gonna composite the compositor on this scene, the other one doesn't matter. So just duplicate this. Here we get the scene here, the view layer is the same. We don't have any... Well, we're gonna save here because it's just a link duplicate. You can just remove it anytime. So now the question is that we need to mix this up at some point. And there are many ways to do it. We're gonna use it here with a... So currently we have that. And we're gonna mix with this, which we don't have a render. So what I'm gonna do is that we're gonna render this thing, but we need to see how fast this renders for the starlight, but this is what we want. Okay, we got this. This is what we were seeing before, and currently this is getting too dark, so we're gonna just find a mix. And of course this is just okay, so you get some outline effects, you get some mixing up. Yeah, we don't want the background, so it's not that bad. Yeah, there's an interesting mixing, right? But for game real time, we'll have to dump this method. It's good for final render though, and stylized thing. Yeah, I usually like this stuff, but now I think what we need is to invert these things. So I'm gonna try to multiply. No, that's too dark. Overlay. No. Add. Add solves the background garbage. Here we get some mixing of all this stuff, right? Screen, get some more lighting, but no, this is all. And we could try other stuff that the value is really interesting because it kinda balances this multiple shading effects there, the grayscale, because grayscale of course it relates to value. Not sure if I got something like this before, but usually this value is the way to go when doing dual compositing with this kind of stuff. This is full. And this is the other one, which is... No, actually this is already mixing, right? So... yeah, as for the color, it's not very good, right? I think. So that means we need a remix, but for color then. That means this plus this. Of course, this will... yeah, it's not that good. Saturation, maybe. This is the original, this is the blended one. Yeah, it's not very easy to get what I want. Yeah, I don't seem to be able to catch to get the more saturated palette, which is really the simplest thing to do. So maybe I should just try it directly from here. Except now I don't remember what was the... Yeah, the color thing wasn't working anyways, so... Like, as it is usually in EEVEE is already good enough, right? It's not like we need this, so... But it's cool to have... It brings some light details, but then we kind of lose the... I won't give up. It should be... Mix... Oh yeah, of course. Mix modifier. We're gonna erase a little of this. There we go. But yeah, it doesn't really... Like, we need to erase a lot. Yeah, get something, but it's too much effort for just that. The original one was more colorful. Also, it didn't broke the... So yeah, so I think... And also it's not real time, so it's like... That's why it hasn't crashed though, so... But it just takes too long to address. I'm gonna just ignore this, and to solve this problem we need to get just this button here. Otherwise you keep try rendering this thing. Render single layer, just the original one. I'm not gonna delete the other one, but I'm going to... Yeah. Leave it like that, and it goes straight to the final VFX. Yeah, and we can do the rest with grease pencil, which is kind of cool. So for that we need the depth pass we have. About mist, it's not ready, I think. Not like that to create that. Yeah, absolutely not. So We need to add just a grease pencil scene line art. Yeah, full scene line art. And we're gonna the line art, we can pick the color from the material, I guess, right? I'm gonna do it as an exaggerated form, and we're gonna okay, we need to set the scene layer black, yes. Line right, oh, there it is. Fill strokes, nope. This is new, maybe. Opacity, yes, reduce a little. Now let's leave like the default intersections. Yes, intersection material borders, sure. Edge marks, I don't have, but that's fine. Loose, whatever. Light contour, but it's not. I don't know how to validate this. Illuminated? No. Graded. Okay, I don't know how this thing would work, but yeah, it's very intriguing. Here it got blown up for the lighting, I guess. The start of the dog store, but yeah, so this really works. It's better than the dual compositing because it doesn't mess up with the colors, but for real time it's not good. Now the other solution also won't be good for that. So yes, this is pretty nice actually. We get a style for the scenery. Now the only thing is, can we get it to the characters? Yeah, no, I can totally. The problem is that I have to fix rigs, models rigs, character design, stylistic adaptation. But this scenery, it's very powerful, very good actually. So this approach totally works. Last time, yeah, 5 July is the last time I've made a render on this scenery, I guess, of the spacecraft. And look at this. Now I think we're very close to... Oh, you're not seeing anything, sorry. Yeah. It's here. No, it is here. I was talking about this result. Very graphical, right? Here where it exploded, I was talking about that. Yeah, here the brightness is not very good. I don't know what is this. It is just a shader that I forgot to change. Oh yeah, the stairs still have no material, so what I can do is give this a something like a here I need to solve what's inside this room. Maybe some, yeah, the office, some office, maybe place for sleep. Yeah, bedrooms and whatever. Some lab. Yeah, so it's a cozy thing, not too long corridor. Just also here. Yeah, so maybe. Yeah, maybe here is more office stuff, lab and people for sleep, they would go around here. Yeah, so it's like a private thing. Could have some stairs or elevator. Still thinking, or we could have it here, but still thinking. Here on the top, I don't think I'm gonna do anything here because there is just not enough. This is not a very high ceiling. If it were too high, I think it will lose the certain impact of what I really wanted to do here. So it's more, it's a spacecraft, a smaller one, so that's why it ends right here. If I do anything here, I'm not certain. I have to still think on this area. And this area, yeah, probably there will be something more towards these other directions, but here I'm already decided that I would like to have those things, but I'm not sure what it will be. Alright folks, so this was enough for today. We got some good, very good developments here on the rendering, a little of modeling and compositing, and this suggests now that indeed I could basically keep going into this direction totally, right? I already knew this capability, but for some reason the problem on the past is that I was trying to do this kind of thing on my previous shader collections or individual shaders on for EEVEE, and then I was always tumbling to this complexity of the textures that made the scenery looks overly detailed, and that kind of asked from so it's like complexity calls for complexity and simplicity calls for simplicity. Yeah, of course, we can have harmonization, of course, of that, but what I mean is that when a lot of textures are, and they were, with lots of grainy details like this tapestry carpets were a lot of wavy, yeah, everywhere, like not here is very clean, and it's very, there's not, so this leads to a less three-dimensional aspect, that more colorful in some way, yeah, simpler aspect. Here we can look a lot of details in the the stars, right? But otherwise, so that cleanness of the scenery will help us focus on other matters, like on the lighting, if there is, also on the, yeah, the shadings here, on the characters. It will rinse the scenery from the attention, although we can still have the big picture. This cleaned up scenery from the textures perspective is what were missing for a very long time, medium term, right? In my shader developments, rendering developments for stylized thing. Of course, there will be many ways to do, but that's it. If you start doing too much details on some asset, then it, in terms of art direction, it might start to contrast with other assets, and that can mess up things. Very hard to get harmony. Like the one example, it's something that we got used to, but anime, for example, they tend to have painterly scenery. This is what I'm trying to do, right? But clearly it's not right what I'm trying to do. But they, not manga, right? I'm talking about anime, right? They have painterly scenery, which highly contrasts with the character self-shading and line art, right? For animation, and for some reason that works. Well, that worked much before, right? Disney already did that, for example. Many other animators attempted this approach. So it's not an anime thing, but anime is famous for that, and their 2D renders scenery are very painterly usually, with various techniques, I guess, of painting and illustration. But here, first, I wouldn't be able to get painterly beautiful scenery like that, backgrounds, landscapes, and etc. Well, yeah, it's too organic, right? But we could get something close, but it's not my goal. It would be, yeah, I like the stylization, but really it's not what caught my attention, except for the fantasy and the sci-fi, but not the technique itself. Although so this integration, that kind of integration that is very contrasting, it doesn't really interest me here. It will be because the scenery would be too organic, and I prefer to maintain something like stylized, and even so it's difficult. But now I have one of the solutions, right? That seems that will be relevant. I know it will be sufficient because I've already rendered my characters alone in a style more or less like this, and I can see them fitting, especially the harmony with the lighting and all that. So it means that the character, I need to be careful that the characters have also a self-shading that will be similar to this, or at least that could harmonize with this. So I need to be very careful about what I do with the skin textures, for example. Maybe I go full self-shading or try to get the same. This is from compositing, so yeah, So maybe I should not use image textures for the characters as well, as I didn't use for this, just counting on shader materials, color and grease pencil. Yes. Okay folks, what do you think? So anyways, hope that was this one might be, hope that was inspired and very inspired, at least if you like sci-fi, fantasy, stuff like that. Maybe games, this is for a game, so narrative game, we're gonna like it will be a essentially I'll start as a shoot them up like this small spacecraft. But what does this have to shoot? This is a this is more like RPG. No, no, actually it's because we'll have a we'll be with the character piloting the spacecraft, and some cinematics or something like this. Eventually I'll use the rest. That is the idea, and I wanted to craft this to get this global ambience, but now I need to focus back on the character and Dorothy and some others, and I hope I will be able to integrate the character here. So maybe the rig is not that important after all. Yeah, of course, basic skinning maybe should do for this project, and also, but except for the face, the facial expressions still need to be very good, and the shaders is the real requirement here that needs to be addressed in terms of research. The rest is research, the rest is the rest. And then I can start integrate, and then use a UPBGE to start building. And that's it folks, thanks for watching, take care, have fun, have a nice weekend, till next time.